Esteemed pupils, greetings. 7.2 math, fractions. We're going to be talking about unit fractions today. Really quickly, let's do a review of 7.1. We have models here, basic addition with fractions. 2/6, you see we've got 2 parts over 6 total parts. 2/6 plus 3/6 equals, you got it, 5/6. Very good. You'll notice that the numerators, of course, get added together, but the denominators stay the same. The denominators is the total part, or the total number of parts. So 2/6 plus 3/6 equals 5/6. Similar idea with subtracting fractions. We have 2/3 here, and you'll notice that there are 3 parts, hence thirds in the denominator. And we have 2 of those parts colored in. We have 2/3 modeled right here. Let's take away 1/3. We're removing just 1/3. So of those 2/3, we're going to remove one of them, 1/3. Hence 2/3 minus 1/3. And ladies and gentlemen, the answer, yes, you got it, 1/3. Notice the denominators stay exactly the same. The numerators, 2 minus 1 is 1, 1 over 3, 1/3. A little review from what I saw yesterday in the homework. People did really well with this. All right, next, unit fractions. This is 7.2. It looks complicated, but it's really easy. All unit fractions are fractions where the numerator is 1. In a unit fraction, the numerator is always 1. So when we look at a fraction like, say, 7/8, if we want to look at all the unit fractions that would be added up to equal 7/8, well, let's just put 1 in our numerator and keep our denominator the same. That's the total number of the total number of parts in the whole. So, well, let's add them together. How many unit fractions would it take to get 7/8? Well, 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8. You'll notice that we added 1/8 7 times. So 1/8 7 times is 7/8. A unit fraction is just 1 in the numerator, and then whatever your total whole is in the denominator. All right, let's look at this modeled again. This fraction right now is we're kind of looking at it as a whole. 6 over 6, 6/6, 1 whole. And here we have all the unit fractions that make up those 6 parts. 1/6 and another 1/6 and another 1/6, another 1/6, our 5th 1/6, finally our 6th and last 1/6, and all those unit fractions together make up the 6 parts of 6 over 6. So if we were looking at maybe breaking this down again, if we were looking at 3/6 plus 3/6, you'll notice in this case we have 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, added together equals 3/6, plus another 3/6 to equal that whole. So it could seem a little bit complicated, but ultimately we're just looking at the unit fractions that work together or come together to make up a typical fraction, a normal fraction. Let's look at 3/4. I'm sure you'll have an easy time with this. How many unit fractions would you add together to get 3/4? 3, of course, right? 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, right? 1/4 plus 1/4 is 2/4, plus another 1/4 is 3/4. So we have our 3 unit fractions that are going to give us 3/4. Curiously, the book asks you also to just say, like, what other combinations of fractions could you add together? Now, we're not talking unit fractions, we're just talking smaller fractions that could be added together to equal said fraction or the original fraction. So 8/10, well, there's a whole bunch of answers for this. You could do 5/10 plus 2/10 plus 1/10 to equal 8/10. Come up with another one. Think about it for a second. Yeah, you could do 4/10 plus 4/10 to equal 8/10. You could do 5/10 plus 3/10 to equal 8/10. You could do 7/10 plus 1/10 to equal 8/10. So ultimately, we're just looking at what they call decomposing a fraction, just kind of taking a fraction apart. The majority of the problems have to do with unit fractions. Whenever it's a unit fraction, just make sure that your numerator is 1. Your numerator has to be the number 1 in a unit fraction. And then in the bottom example, 8 over 10, there are, of course, other combinations of fractions that you can add together, but those are not unit fractions at the bottom. Well, 1 over 10 technically is, but it's just kind of a different type of question that the book will ask you. The majority, though, has to do with unit fractions. If you have any questions, please send me an email or a text or a phone call. I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, be well. And really quickly, let me see if I have the assignment right here handy. The assignment is, let me look at our plans. The assignment is The assignment is page 391 to 396. Fill in all the blanks, do all the prompts. And if you would share with me page 395 so I can check your work. All right, awesome. I know you'll do great. Thank you.